box and whisker plots, and today we're going to look at construction of box and whisker plots. And while central tendency describes the middle of a data set, variability describes the spread of data. So a box and whisker plot uses a number line to show how the data is distributed. So we're talking about variability, how spread out our data points are. And a box and whisker plot is sometimes called a box plot or a 5-dot summary. It divides our data into 4 parts called quartiles, and each quartile contains 25% of the data. So the first thing we'd want to do with this set of data is order from least to greatest. I went ahead and put this in order for us. We have 17, 18, 19, 21, 24, 26, 27. And we want to make a number line that will include all of our data, and it's good to go a little bit past it. In this case, it was reasonable to count by ones. And I went a little bit below it with 16, a little bit above it with 28. And then we're going to look for key pieces of data. So the first key piece of data we're going to look for is something called the lower quartile, and we abbreviate that LQ. It's the median of the lower half of the data. So with an odd amount of data, we're going to split this into a lower half and an upper half, and we're going to find the median of this lower half. Well, the median of the lower half is 18, so we're going to put a dot above 18. And then the next thing we're going to find is the upper quartile, or the median of the upper half of the data. So I have my upper half as 24, 26, 27, and the median of that will be 26. So I'm going to put a point above 26. Next we have something called the interquartile range, and the interquartile range is easy to find. It's just our upper quartile minus our lower quartile. So in this case we have 26 minus 18. To find an interquartile range of 8. And that describes the middle of our data. Back to our construction, the next point we're looking for is the median of the whole set of data. Our median of our whole set was 21. So I'm going to put a point above 21. And these are the 3 points that we box in. This is the box of the box and whisker, or box plot. We're going to draw our box from the UQ to the LQ and box in that data. Next we have, what are the extremes? What are our least and greatest data points? Well, our least number is 17, so we're going to put a dot at 17. And our greatest is 27. So we'll put a dot at 27. Now comes the whiskers, so we're just going to whisker out to those extremes. We're going to whisker to the 17, we'll whisker to the 27. Why would we call this a 5-dot plot? Well, because there are 5 dots. So you get the 5-dot plot, 5-dot summary, and our 5 dots make our 4 quartiles. Our 4 sections come between those 5 dots. Each of these sections between the points is 25% of our data each quarter. All right, let's look at an even numbered set. So our first set had an odd number, and that number in the middle we didn't include in the lower half or the upper half. If your data has an even number, you'll want to include that number as part of the left and the right. So like in this case, the 88 at the median, we're going to include this 88 in the lower quartile, and we'll include this 88 in the upper quartile. And you guys go ahead, take this set of data, and you guys make a box and whisker plot, and come back and see how you did. All right, you guys should have paused the video, came back to check and see where we're at. So let's find our 5 dots, our 5 key pieces of data from this data set. We'll start with our lower quartile. Our LQ was 82. We had an upper quartile at 90, the median of the upper half. Then we have the median of the whole thing. Well, I had 2 numbers in the middle, 88, 88. I could add those together and divide by 2 and get 88. Then I want the extremes. Our least and greatest point, we had the least at 76. We had our greatest at 95. And let's put these dots on our plot. So we put in our LQ, our UQ, our median. We can box that in. And then we whisker out to the least and to the greatest. Draw our whiskers. So hopefully your box plot looks like that. Let's try a couple other questions. You guys pause the video here, identify the LQ, which is the first quartile, and the UQ, which is the third quartile of the given data set. All right, welcome back. So you probably need to put these in order from least to greatest. And when we put these in order from least to greatest, we get a lower quartile or quartile 1 of 25, and our upper quartile or quartile 3 of 65. All right, same set of data. Now you guys find the interquartile range. Okay, the interquartile range would be 65 minus 25, which was 40. So what would the range be? All right, so the range is just going to be the greatest minus the least. 75 minus 15, which is 60. Have a great day. OU, T spells out.